Live from deep in an underground bunker in East Tennessee, this is America's premier mortgage fuel services expert, Paul Williams.
Three, two, one. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of Foreclosurepedia Podcast. Foreclosurepedia Podcast is a presentation of the Foreclosurepedia Radio Network, which premieres weekly. This evening, just like me, it's a holiday weekend. What's on your mind is what's on my mind. And what's troubling everybody this evening is what exactly is going on in East Tennessee with law enforcement. But building on that, what is law enforcement doing? How do they actually believe that they could usurp the power of the United States government? How could ServiceLink ever feel that Residential Access Corporation had more power? How did ServiceLink believe that they would not support labor? As usual, I apologize, I have the sinus, but ladies and gentlemen, it's an incredible night. We have a full hour pack of discussions and presentations for you, the Foreclosurepedia Nation, to dive into. Tonight, I want to introduce two great friends of mine. First, y'all know him, you love him, Aaron Aviero, All Day LLC, All Day Mobile Media, and I have David Saylor, Contractor, Sparkling Shine Cleaning and Property Preservation. So I want to go first. Aaron, are you out there?
Yeah, a little bit somewhere over here.
Hey, I hear you out in Oregon. How you doing, brother? And it's incredible. Let me interrupt. It's incredible. We have East Tennessee, we have Knoxville, and we have Oregon, all simulcasting. We've mastered it, but you go.
There you go.
You have the table, Aaron. How you doing?
A wonderful thing. You know, that situation in East Tennessee, it sounds to me like somebody's identifying as Hunter Biden. And they just think they get away with whatever they want to do.
I honestly and humbly do not believe it's Hunter Biden, but I do believe that if you turn over another rock or leaf, you're going to find another package of classified documents. But anyway, forget about it. But I got David Saylor. Are you out there, David?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir? Why don't you introduce yourself to the Foreclosurepedia Nation?
Well, I'm David Saylor. I'm with Sparkling Shine Cleaning and Property Preservation Services. I do contracts in Upper East Tennessee from Mountain City to Maryville, Tennessee. And I currently have about 4 crews working for me that sub for me right now. I do work in the property preservation field for myself. And I'm dealing with you know, the regular NAMPS crap that we got to deal with. Regime, yeah. Running them out of East Tennessee and getting them just getting them be gone.
So why don't you tell the audience, and I'm going to get back to you, Aaron. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, not specifically where, but why don't you tell us about your experience in East Tennessee with respect to these just took an Aaron turn there. These people who think they can tell you what they want you to do, how you're going to do it, without due process of law, Mr. Saylor.
I had them come up to me and say, well, you were supposed to have 8 people on this job, on this eviction. Eight people. Well, ServiceLink sends out a work order, 4 people minimum. 4 people minimum. And we have a discussion with the officers, and he says, no taking photographs while we're doing this. Well,
Whoa, no, let me stop you.
Huh?
You're there on behalf of ServiceLink, which has a client, right, which controls the property. In this case, FHA, which is HUD, and they're telling you how you must do it and what you must not do. Am I understanding that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
That was law enforcement?
Law enforcement. No taking
Holy
lunch breaks.
Toledo.
Oh, let me interrupt there. Whoa. No lunch breaks. Talk to me about that.
FHA property. That's federal, man. You gotta have a break.
Yeah.
That's an OSHA violation.
I had a break. I broke my arm one day riding a freight train, but so tell us, Mr. Sailor. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
So you arrive to the site, I presume, and because you have a lawful order from on behalf of a client that controls an FHA loan, which is an insured policy from Housing and Urban Development, whom incidentally we have reached out to and have not had comment back from yet. So Secretary Marcia Fudge of the Biden administration controls this property. So you have this work order in your hand, and you've done, I presume, correct me if I'm wrong, work orders of this nature in the past. Is that accurate?
Absolutely.
And you've done them more than 30 days, would you say?
Oh, yeah.
How long would you say you've been doing evictions?
At least 6+ years.
That's older than some children of friends of mine I have. So you know what you're doing. And so you show up, you have a work order, they knock on the door, guns drawn. Was anybody there?
Yeah.
Well, walk me through that part of it. So, knock on the door, what happens?
Okay, he knocks on the door. The guy don't answer after several knocks. And he all of a sudden eventually comes to the door, just woke up out of bed, just out of bed.
Shit.
And he tells me, he said, Judge, so-and-so said that we were going to have this eviction done on Thursday instead of Wednesday. So,
and this was the homeowner who said that, right?
Yep.
But now let me interrupt. You and the homeowner, you and law enforcement had a lawful decree to perform the eviction on the day you arrived. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Carry on.
And after it was confirmed, that it was everything was a go.
Whoa, wait a minute. How did it get confirmed? You're telling me law enforcement had to call the judge, even though he had a legal writ in his hand?
Yep.
How long did that
take? Because what I understand, there was juveniles in the house. One of them was under house arrest.
Oh my God!
Oh, no.
I'm feeling like we're waiting for a Hollywood scriptwriter out of Taos, New Mexico. But how long did that process take?
It was over 2 hours. Almost.
This sounds like an episode of Breaking Bad.
Or Breaking Eric.
Yeah.
Every bit of 2 hours.
So 2 hours you're sitting there because law enforcement, with a legal writ, a document in their hand, legally empowered by a legally empowered judge in East Tennessee, he didn't like that order. He wanted to call. Is that correct?
Yes.
2 hours. So walk me after those 2 hours, because here I'm waiting for it. The Foreclosurepedia Nation is waiting for this one.
Yeah. Well, I walk around the house and, get my usual junk pictures after this is after they say, go ahead and start removing stuff out of the house. Go in the house and there's just stuff piled to the ceiling. I mean, 200, 300 cubic yards of stuff.
Holy cow.
and we proceed to start with our removal of the debris and do our lock change, get photographs and stuff. And the cops keep saying, we got to be out of here by 2:30 today. He said technically they first said 3 o'clock, then they said 2:30.
So let me interrupt. I'm sorry. So you show up, you have your crew, you're ready to go, and law enforcement says you can't go because they're going to make a call, right, to confirm. And during that process, when you go into survey, which is exactly what the United States government requires to document what's in there, he says, you gotta shut the photo op down, right? And now he says he has an appointment. My bad, let you carry on from there.
An appointment. He tells me afterwards, after everything is done. Now this is 6 o'clock. He don't tell me this stuff till at the end, whenever we're getting ready to leave. He said, going forward, your company will no longer be able to do evictions in Greene County, Tennessee. Because he said we missed an appointment. He said I had a missed appointment to take my.
But let me roll that back just a little bit. As we say down here in East Tennessee, let's roll back that magical bean footage, right? Bush beans, no pun intended. I don't get paid for that. It's no sponsorship. But this guy says he has an appointment. Now, he is there as a paid law enforcement official by your tax dollars. I want to make sure he wasn't there because he had a day off. Is that correct? Was he in uniform?
He was in uniform.
Did he have a firearm?
Yes.
Did he show up in a hatchback glass Pinto that was baby blue? I mean, he showed up in a law enforcement vehicle, correct? Paid by tax dollars, am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct.
Very good. And you can't take photos. I have an appointment. Did he happen to mention if that appointment was because sorry, Aaron, because President Biden was coming to town, or was it a non-government official appointment?
It was a non-government official appointment.
And would you be willing tonight?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Did that cop, whoever had the appointment, did he have any conversations with any of the residents that were inside there? Or squatters or whatever they were?
Yes.
Did it appear that he had a relationship maybe? That he might have known them? That's what this is.
He knew them. He did.
This has sounded like to me, like that officer might have been compromised because there is.
Is that FCC shit?
Hey, but I mean, did I hear correctly? The cop, the police station, the sheriff, whatever agency they are, so law enforcement agency there said, your company cannot perform evictions in that county or whatever it was?
Yes, you heard that.
He's not authorized to do that.
So, and I appreciate that, Aaron, but I want to go a little bit deeper because that's what we do, because we dig a ditch. And we dig it deep on Foreclosurepedia. So you're moving things out to and fro. The family members whom as you pointed out, according to law enforcement, had home arrest devices on them. By any chance, I mean, look, I'm never going to hate on anybody about reefer. I like reefer. Look, Aaron's going to go there with Biden, but I love girls, right? But what was the rationale for being concerned other than whose appointment was he missing? That's what I want to figure out.
His daughter's appointment.
Very good. And we're not going to go deep into that. Full disclosure, Foreclosurepedia has not verified whether or not she is or is not a minor, so we will not discuss that this evening. You're moving things out. So you start at a certain time. Was the eviction and was the property moved to the curbside before midnight?
Yes.
Were photos taken of the property swept out?
Yes.
Here is the most interesting question I have for you. You had actually called in. I was doing another podcast earlier. You had called in and you said, you're going to the store and you happen to observe the property days after the eviction. Could you tell me about what you witnessed?
They were still on the property with a pods storage unit, and they were coming in and out of the house. They had re-entered the house.
So let me stop you there. So you performed the eviction because I remember back in the day, 35241, you change the lock, whatever key code it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I can say that because HUD keys are insecure, and we sent a copy to Ben Carson many years ago. It's documented on Foreclosurepedia. Did you give a copy of the keys to the former homeowner?
Nope.
Could you, as a professional in the industry, best surmise to me how they gained access to the house?
Just kick the door in, kick the front door in.
Holy,
Damn.
I gotta say it here because I can, because it'll be on YouTube and everywhere else. This is a fucking damn shit show. Were the law enforcement officials during the process of all this, were they polite? For example, did they say, hey, you need a water, brother? Let me help you with that. Were they very kind and doting on you and your crew?
No. They were, get this done. You need to be working. You can't be on the phone. You got to be, and I have to be on the ServiceLink phone and the phone to ServiceLink. Oh, you can't do that. You need to be,
Wow.
Did law enforcement have a court order they gave to you that stated you would not be allowed to perform evictions?
No, sir.
So, would it be a fair statement to say that law enforcement acted as judge and jury?
Yes.
Do you feel that this is a hindrance? Do you feel that this disparages your good name? Do you feel like, if allowed to stand, this would prevent your ability to continue to put food on the table for you and your family?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Aaron, get in here. I know you want to say something.
I mean, you know me. I support military. I support law enforcement. And people that have known me for a while know that I've been on both sides of that fence. And I still have respect and support law enforcement. I'm not understanding. I mean, we keep hearing, and I know it's a sensitive subject out there, with people that there's too much overreach from a department, an agency, or whatever, and that's what it really sounds like. This law enforcement agency like went way over the line in far as this is a civil matter. Evictions are civil. That's not a criminal issue until they refuse to leave. Then it becomes criminal, and whomever the property owner is, they're the ones that got to come in and put something else in play. But that cop ain't supposed to be giving nobody directions. He's there to stand by and say, hey, you guys got to go. This guy's got shit to do. That's what the law enforcement's there for. They're not there to give directions or order anybody around. So I just, what I'm hearing is there's a lot of overreach. Maybe borderline, you might be able to make a good, solid case.
But we don't speak. We don't disperse legal advice. At least.
But, well, no, it just sounds like that's just pushing it a little too far. And that was why, let's circle back to the question, not to sound like Jen Psaki or anything, but was there a relationship with that particular law enforcement personnel and the people that were squatting or living in the house or whatever that scenario is?
We don't know that. In full disclosure, Foreclosure PD has submitted a Tennessee Open Records Act request for personnel files. So I don't want to overstep my bounds here. I just want to make sure that the interview is clear.
But that, I mean, if it's me from a company standpoint, if it was my company, I would be asking that question because that would come into play with how what I'm hearing transpire.
Well, you're sounding hurtful as a GOP member. We can't ask those questions. Hold on. You can ask that question if you give law enforcement, in this instant case, a safe space.
A safe space, okay. Yeah. I have one of them caramel macchiato latte things or whatever they call them too over there on the counter.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming up on a hard break. In fact, it's quarter after the hour. I have to do a station identification. This is Paul Williams, editor-in-chief for foreclosurepedia.org. We are simulcasting on the Foreclosurepedia radio network. This evening, we're speaking with David Saylor, the only owner of Sparkling Shine. We have Aaron Aviero, all-day mobile media out of Nevada and Portland. Soon to be, and here is a spoiler, Lake Tahoe. We will be right back because it's necessary from a word from my sponsors. All right, we're going clear.